Good morning. What's going on? It's Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com. Thank you for joining us. I'm coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where the weather continues to heat up. I know it's a slow time, but we got you covered on BamaInsider.com today. 19 for 19. How does Nick Saban stack up against the rest of college football? We're going to examine the GOAT, greatest of all time, against college football. It's always fun to dig up information regarding Nick Saban. I mean, he's got incredible numbers, not only from a winning perspective, but also what he's done with players that leave Alabama, his coaching tree. We'll talk about that today on the Talk of Champions podcast right here on BamaInsider.com. If you're a college student, hit me up. We got a $10 cover charge. Pay just $10 to get access for the complete year. Hit me up at Kyle@BamaInsider.com. If you're out of college, got a job, you can hit me up as well for a free 30-day trial. Promo code at checkout is simply Roll Tide. Before we get to our 19 for 19 series regarding Nick Saban, Alabama softball with a big victory on Thursday night against Texas in Game 1 of the Tuscaloosa Super Regional. Here's an excerpt from Alabama's post-game sendout. Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Alabama softball was lights out in the circle to open the Super Regional Series against Texas Thursday night, shutting out the Longhorns 3-0. The shutout is Alabama's first in Super Regional play since playing in Oklahoma in Game 1 of the 2015 series. The Crimson Tide struck first against Texas with a 2-run home run from Mary Schroeder in the third inning and added an insurance run from Skylar Wallace. On the mound, Montana Fouts, who's now 18-4 as a freshman, did the rest, with the rookie right-hander allowing just 3 hits and no walks in the complete game shutout. Now, Game 2 of the Super Regional will be set for 8 p.m. on Friday night. You can catch that first pitch on ESPN. If they win that, they advance. I mean, this team continues to do incredible things this year. 56-7 on the year. Patrick Murphy doing an incredible job. I really like him as a person, and I think he's a wonderful softball coach. In other news, Alabama announced on Thursday that the Crimson Tide and South Florida will have a 3-game series, and this comes from University of Alabama on Thursday. Alabama and USF announced Thursday an agreement to play in a 3-game football series starting in the 2023 season. The Crimson Tide and the Bulls will face off for the first time since 2003 when the series kicks off in Raymond James Stadium on September 16, 2023 in Tampa, Florida. Our future non-conference schedules are rounding out quite nicely with the addition of the series as this one with USF, said Alabama Athletic Director Greg Byrne. We look forward to an early season road test against a quality opponent in an NFL stadium in 2023, and we will welcome them to Tuscaloosa for a pair of home games in 2024 and 2026. To read the complete report, go to BamaInsider.com. It's currently on the front page. All right, today, as I mentioned, our 19 for 19 is how does Nick Saban stack up against the rest of college football? Keep climbing. That is the message to college coaches across the country trying to surpass or emulate Alabama football coach Nick Saban. Since arriving in Tuscaloosa in 2007, Saban has simply become the greatest coach in college football history. From his 5 national titles, 6 total, as he has one with LSU, to the number of players his organization has sent to the NFL, to his coaching tree, we are witnessing greatness on all fronts. And I think a good place to start out with is just his overall coaching record, right? His overall coaching record at the college level, Saban is 251-64 with 1 tie, right? That's a winning percentage just south of 800. Overall, through 23 seasons, he has a bowl record of 14-10. His record at Alabama is 146-21 over the last 12 seasons, winning 5 college football championships. Think about that. Over the last 12 seasons, 5 national title games. During his tenure coaching in the SEC, Saban has also won the SEC championship 8 times in 2001, 2003, 2009, 2012, 2014, 2015, 2016, and in 2018. When we compare Saban against other high-profile and well-established college football coaches from across the country, you'll find that Saban has set the bar extremely high. Now, let's take Clemson's Dabo Swinney. He's currently 116-30 with 2 national championships. Very commendable. Jimbo Fisher, who just completed his first year at Texas A&M, 97-27 overall as a head coach with 1 national title game, which he won when he was a coach at Florida State. And recently retired Urban Meyer, who coached at Utah in the early 2000s and then again at Florida from 2005 to 2010, and most recently at Ohio State from 2012 to 2018, finished his career 187 wins and 32 losses with 3 national championships in 2006, 2008, and 2014. Currently, Nick Saban is number 8 on the all-time win list of college coaches throughout history and is chasing Nebraska great Tom Osborne, who finished his career with 255 wins. Number 1 all-time on the college football coaches wins list is former Penn State head coach Joe Paterno, who has 409 wins. Then former Florida State coach Bobby Bowden, who has 357 wins. And at number 3, it's former Alabama coach Bear Bryant, who has 323 wins with 6 national titles. So again, Joe Paterno at Penn State, 409 wins with 2 national titles. Bobby Bowden coached at Florida State, 357 wins with 2 titles. Bear Bryant, 323 victories with 6 national titles. Him and Saban tied for most titles in college football. Currently, Nick Saban, with 251 all-time victories, has 6 national titles and is just 4 games away from tying Tom Osborne, and he should certainly surpass Tom Osborne this coming season at Alabama. After Nick Saban, in terms of active coaches, the next coach is Gary Patterson, who has 174 wins at TCU with no national titles. Now, another thing that really sets Nick Saban apart is the amount of talent that he sends on from Alabama to the NFL. Sure, the NFL has a ton of players from Alabama, but the number of first-round draft picks is very incredible when you look at it. Since 2010, 28 former players from Alabama have been drafted in the first round. Following Nick Saban's first season with the Crimson Tide in 2007, Alabama had 0 players selected in the first round. In 2009, offensive tackle Andre Smith was taken as the number 6 overall pick by Cincinnati. And from there on out, you've had Alabama players in the first round every single year under Saban. This last season, 2019, in the NFL draft, Quinnen Williams went number 3 to the Jets, Jonah Williams went number 11 to Cincinnati, and Josh Jacobs went number 24 to Oakland. 2018, Minkah Fitzpatrick, number 11 to Miami. Deron Payne, number 13 to Washington. Rashaan Evans, number 22 to Tennessee. 2018, Calvin Ridley, number 26 to Atlanta. 2017, Marlon Humphrey, number 16 to Baltimore. 2017, Jonathan Allen, number 17 to Washington. 2017, O.J. Howard, number 19 to Tampa Bay. 2017, Reuben Foster, number 31 to San Francisco. The list goes on and on. You can read the full NFL draft recap on BamaInsider.com. Now, the Nick Saban coaching tree, wow. This may be one of the most impressive aspects of Nick Saban's whole career is who he's developed, right? I love the fact that he's won championships. I love the fact that he sent guys to the NFL, but I think Nick Saban has to be proud of the caliber of coaches who are now rising up, the next coaches that are striving for greatness. I mean, so many of these guys, as I'll read off, are now current college football coaches and only moving up in their career. The coaching tree under Nick Saban is incredible when you dive into the coaches now coaching their own program or who are high-level assistants at other big-time programs. Saban's coaching tree is extensive, but here are a few notable coaches that have coached under Saban at one time or another. Current Dallas Cowboy head coach Jason Garrett coached under Nick Saban as a quarterbacks coach for the Miami Dolphins in the early 2000s. Texas A&M head coach Jimbo Fisher was Saban's offensive coordinator at LSU from 2000 to 2004. Kirby Smart, who is now the head coach at Georgia, was Saban's defensive coordinator at Alabama from 2008 to 2015. Will Muschamp, who is a head coach at South Carolina, coached under Saban at LSU from 2002 to 2004 as a defensive coordinator and linebackers coach. Here's the list right here, okay? Jason Garrett, QB coach for Saban when he was at the Dolphins, 2005 to 2006. Now he's the head coach for the Dallas Cowboys. Jimbo Fisher, he was an offensive coordinator at LSU for Saban, 2000 to 2004. Now he's the head coach at Texas A&M. Kirby Smart, defensive coordinator at Alabama from 2008 to 2015. Now he's a head coach at Georgia. Will Muschamp was a defensive coordinator at LSU under Saban from 2002 to 2004. Is now the head coach at South Carolina. Mario Cristobal is the offensive line coach at Alabama under Saban from 2013 to 2016. Is now the head coach at Oregon. Lane Kiffin, who was the offensive coordinator at Alabama from 2014 to 2016 under Saban, is now the head coach at Florida Atlantic. Jeremy Pruitt was a defensive coordinator at Alabama during the 2017 season. Now, Pruitt coached a couple times under Saban. Now he's a current head coach at Tennessee. Mike Locksley, most recently, is the offensive coordinator at Alabama during the 2018 season. He was also an offensive analyst and the receivers coach. Now he's the head coach at Maryland. Mel Tucker was a defensive backs coach at Alabama in 2015. Now he's a head football coach at Colorado. Billy Napier, he was a receivers coach at Alabama from 2013 to 2016. Now he's a head coach at Louisiana. Jim McElwain was the offensive coordinator at Alabama from 2008 to 2011. Now he's the head coach at Central Michigan. So there's many reasons why Nick Saban is considered the greatest football coach of all time. But I think up to Saban, he still wants to win a couple more national titles to set him apart from Bear Bryant. I mean, when we look at those two head to head, right? Bear Bryant has 323 victories, 6 national titles, and Saban has 251 wins with 6 titles. So I think in my prediction, a lot of people, like even Vegas, they recently put out odds. Let me see if I can find those odds on when Nick Saban would retire. So now you can go and you can place your bets on when you think Nick Saban will retire. I posted a poll on BamaInsider.com and I asked, when do you think Nick Saban will retire from Alabama? Will it be after 2019 all the way to will it be after the 2026 season? And surprisingly, 23% of the voters said after the 2026 season. That's a long time for Saban to continue to be coaching, but he looks great. I mean, and I'm glad to see him taking care of himself. He recently got that hip replacement. As you can see, he really hasn't lost a beat. I think he's even more energized coming into the 2019 season, especially after that humiliating loss in the national title game against Clemson to Dabo Swinney. I think Saban overall has enough in the tank to win 2, 3, maybe even 4 more national titles at Alabama. Is that crazy to say? What do you think? When do you think Saban will retire from Alabama? Sound off in the comment box. And also, let us know what you think is the most impressive feat about Nick Saban. Is it his national titles? Is it the fact that he sent so many players to the first round of the NFL draft? Is it his extensive coaching tree? I want to hear from you. Thanks for listening today on the BamaInsider.com podcast. If you're a college student, hit me up. We got a special college promo for you. It's a $10 cover charge. Sign up for $10. You get access to BamaInsider.com for a complete year. If you're out of college and you still want to taste behind the paywall, hit me up at Kyle@BamaInsider.com as well. We got a free 30-day trial, get you access to the Talk of Champions message board, and you can read all the exclusive premium content on BamaInsider.com. I'm coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Thanks for following us on our 19 for 19 series. I'll be back again next week, and we can talk about more Alabama football. We'll continue to ask the hard-hitting questions going into the 2019 season to help you pass these long summer days. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, this is Kyle Henderson on the Talk of Champions. You're listening right here on BamaInsider.com. Have a great weekend. I'll catch up with you guys soon.